After Allah finished creating the entire universe, the earth, all the stars and planets, 7 heavens, his divine paradise and the dreadful Jahannam, he established himself over his divine arsh or throne and had a look at his entire creation, planning for the next big operation. He created the angels who occupied the 7 heavens and granted them a pure character. But Allah needed a particular species to be tested. So he created the Jinns from smokeless fire. This fire is metaphysical. It's not like the fire of the earth, not that which burns and produces smoke. Instead, it's a pure, subtle and intense form of energy carrying a density that cannot be measured and the speed of light. On one side, these jinns were going to be severely tested, while on the other side, the angels were going to carry a massive responsibility. Assalamu alaikum, my dear brothers and sisters. You're watching Quran for Living. In this video, you'll learn about the battle that was fought on our very planet long before any human walked the world. The jinns occupied this planet. They are the beings created from smokeless fire. They roamed all around the earth. They formed societies and built power amongst them. Several generations passed and civilizations among the jinns grew complex. Some Jewish and Christian sources propagate that jinns lived on the earth about 5,000 to 7,000 years before Allah created Adam alayhi salam. Just like how Allah has provided humans with free will, Allah has also given the jinns the permission to exercise free will. But along with their free will came corruption. Pride swelled among them. Rivalries turned bloody. Soul-to-soul conflict driven by arrogance and rebellion led to a rampant bloodshed, not with steel blades but through fiery essence, spiritual force and destructive might inherent to their bodies of flames. A lot of people object, saying jinns don't have bodies like ours, they don't have blood like humans and animals. Then why does Qur'an mention the word bloodshed in Surah Baqarah? My dear brothers and sisters, the term bloodshed is a metaphorical term understood as the corruption, chaos and strife caused by these earlier beings or by the general corrupting influence of evil entities. When this corruption, evil and bloodshed increased so much that it was time for Allah's wrath, and then Allah sent the angels to intervene. Allah, observing the upheaval, decreed that the order on earth must be restored. So Allah dispatched an army of angels led by a very pious figure named Azazil. Yes, Azazil was later known as Iblis. Allah commanded them to carry out a battle and subdue the jinn tyrants. Islamic sources indicate that Iblis, before his fall, was amongst the most devout worshippers of Allah. His high status made him suitable to lead the angelic army against the rebellious jinn. Quran clarifies in Surah Kaf, Ayah 50, that Iblis was a jinn. He worshipped so devotedly that he was elevated to dwell amongst the angels. Due to his intense obedience before his arrogance took over, Iblis was known as Azazil, meaning the mighty one or the worshipper. His status granted him leadership in this battle to cleanse earth of the corrupt jinn, although he himself was a jinn. Iblis possessed great knowledge, spiritual strength and qualities that were necessary for commanding angels against these rebellious jinns. Angels and Azazil obeyed this divine command of Allah and descended on the earth. This mission was a part of the test of Iblis. Iblis, along with the angels, succeeded in defeating these rebellious jinns. Inshallah, we'll learn more about the inner character of Iblis in the next video. Coming back to the angelic war. These angels and Azazil forged from divine light and fierce flame respectively, descended en masse. Epic confrontations erupted all across the earth. Cliffs cracked, mountains echoed with thunderous clashes of energy, and the sky was lit with fierce glory. What do you think happened next? Ultimately, the angels along with Azazil emerged victorious, pushing these rebellious jinns into the margins of earth where human habitation does not dwell. But where exactly were the jinns pushed? Is that place known to humans? Scholars mention that the rebellious jinns were expelled to islands, seas, mountains and deserts, far from human habitation and away from the portions of the purified earth. While jinns may inhabit the physical spaces, they primarily exist in parallel dimensions, that is Alam Ghaib, invisible to humans. Allah says in Surah Araf, Ayah 27, "Indeed Shaitan sees you, he and his tribe, from where you do not see them." This indicates that although jinns share the earth, their realm is normally beyond human perception. Now, we know that the earth was purified and the jinns who survived this war were pushed on isolated parts of the world away from the habitable areas. What did Allah do next? The earth was made ready for a new creation who would serve as Allah's first Khalifah on the earth. Allah announced to the angels, "Indeed, I will place upon the earth a vicegerent, that is a Khalifah." Surah Baqarah, Ayah 30. Hearing this, the angels questioned, "Will you place one who causes corruption therein and sheds blood while we glorify you with praise and sanctify you?" The angels were not questioning Allah with doubt, but they feared that they themselves have fallen short of worship towards Allah, which is why Allah is planning another creation. They assumed that humans might act just like the jinns who came before them. Allah answered the angels, "I know what you do not know." Now, Allah begins to create a solid, tangible, and a prominent living creation from clay. And this was going to be the first human. Allah was going to create the first Khalifah for his earth, the first prophet and the father of all the humans. This creation of Adam alayhi salam was a turning point in the heavens and the earth, which became the reason why Allah created the Jannah and the Jahannam. As soon as Adam alayhi salam breathed the first, a clear distinction was made for all of us, a distinction between the right and the wrong, a distinction between following the path of Allah versus the path of Shaitan. The moment Allah blew life into Adam alayhi salam, it also brought into existence another contradictory entity. This was the point when Azazil, the most pious jinn, one of the most pious servants of Allah, turned into the most cursed being and became Iblis, the Shaitan. With this blowing of life into the clay figure came the greatest test for all of the creations of man and jinns. The gift of free will for humans and jinns became a responsibility to choose the path of the one who created us, who created the entire universe, or the path of the one who envied us. Not only envied, in fact, Shaitan openly challenged Allah that he will keep taking us away from Allah. All of us, the children of our father Adam alayhi salam, have inherited a divine test from Allah. Remember, Allah told the angels, "I know what you do not know." Surah Baqarah, Ayah 30. Inshallah, in the next video, you'll learn about the story of Adam alayhi salam and the dialogue between the arrogant Iblis and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.